Hey everyone, my name is Rebecca Watson. I'm a researcher and I was one of the programming research facilitators who worked with Digital Creator to create Digital Creator Online. The topic of our showcase is called Digital Creator Online, Resilient Media Arts Makerspaces and Programming in Northern Ontario. And the folks who worked on this project were myself as a programming research facilitator, Tyler Cunningham, another programming research facilitator, and Maggie Grayson, who was the research lead. And of course, Sharon Switzer was and is the programming coordinator for Digital Creator North. So the primary goal of our showcase is to engage in knowledge sharing regarding our experience with a pandemic-fueled digital transformation, and a digital transformation it truly was, which was adapting a physical community program, Digital Creator North, into one operating completely virtually in response to COVID-19. And just for some local context, there is a sentiment perpetuated that media art and innovation does not occur in Northern Ontario. And in order to find opportunities within the media arts, that one needs to leave in search of greener or more southern pastures. Northern Ontario has been victim of neglect on many accounts, including a general afterthought towards residents who occupy a region larger than the size of a European country. The region, and this is a quote from an Ottawa Citizen article, the region makes up nearly 90% of the province's landmass, yet it has just 7% of the province's population. And this translates to many small and rural communities scattered throughout. A major issue within the arts here is retention. Youth in Northern Ontario are seldom exposed nor provided opportunities to engage with media and digital art in the same way that youth in Southern Ontario or other major cities are. And as a consequence, they may never consider digital art as an option or will leave the North altogether in pursuit of these opportunities. And Digital Creator North emerged as a way to fill that gap. So Digital Creator North had existed prior to the COVID-19 pandemic in the form of physical spaces and mentors within local libraries and one museum in 6 communities across rural Northern Ontario. The goal of DCN then and now is to help youth see the possibility and opportunity in art and technology right here in the region. In 2020, sadly, all 6 digital creator locations closed their doors, and program leads began to make an effort to engage with youth on social media and occasional Zoom meetups. Eventually, Digital Creator made the decision to pause operations, and in early 2021 had reallocated funds to researching the development of this new online initiative. Rather than simply operating on Zoom, DCN wanted to put the same thought, effort, and intention into the creation of this online project to hopefully take the very best portions of the physical digital creator and translate that to facilitating genuine connections and digital art explorations in the virtual. We conducted heuristic interviews of past library partners who hosted the physical spaces and former DCN program leads, or also mentors, on the successes and challenges of DCN in order to translate those successes into an online iteration of the program called Digital Creator Online. And this was a completely free online initiative inspired by Homago principles. And this was made to inspire creative experimentation, peer networking, and collaboration, and advocacy in the digital arts among youth and teens in Northern Ontario by inspiring and supporting the young people that will one day be leaders. So a little bit about our preliminary research process. DCN then hired lead researcher Maggie Grayson, along with two programming research facilitators, Tyler and myself, in May of 2021. Over the span of roughly 4 months, the team conducted extensive preliminary research through 1, stakeholder and library partner interviews, 2, interviews of past program leads, gathering insights and stories on the strengths and challenges of digital creator prior to COVID-19, 3, exploration and analysis of like-minded organizations, many of which have attended the Connected Learning Summit, which center youth and technology, and 4, the surveying of community resources and internet infrastructure on a regional and hyperlocal scale. And so I included some screenshots of what some of that internet infrastructure research looked like. This is a great map that is accessible online, not done by us, but it really helps to show the infrastructural disparity that is present here, where red is 0% bandwidth and blue is having access to reliable internet. And so that gave us a lot to consider operating a completely virtual program in a region where internet is not widely accessible. So through much of our learnings, we found that Digital Creator North existed as a safe space for youth, often left at the wayside. When prototyping for the online translation of the DCN physical space, we wanted to keep that sense of space, a landing area where youth could make it their own. Additionally, through chatting with youth and community members, we found that often people associate stagnant video conferencing software like Zoom and Google Meet with school or other institutions. So with both of those observations in consideration, we began exploring alternative meeting platforms, which would enable us to evoke the sense of low pressure, homago, which was so present and loved in the physical space. So thus began the phase of our research in which we tested a variety of platforms, including Kumo Space, Minecraft Education, Discord, Hubs by Mozilla, and finally GatherTown, which is the primary location Digital Creator Online operated out of. And I will say that was a really fun part of the research process, just getting to try all of these different platforms. So myself and Tyler, the programming research facilitators, had been consistently running online events and workshops from September of 2021 to May of 2022, and had carefully crafted the GatherTown space to reflect the sensibility present in the physical spaces. The homago sort of sensibility. The space is instilled with a sense of playfulness, with a variety of in-world resources one would need to create digital art, and music completely remotely. So from creative coding to digital drawing to EDM music creation, our programming holds accessibility as cornerstone pillars, and our regular public programming prioritizes software that is completely free. We also would like it to be accessible from multiple vantage points, collaborative, and can be tiered in terms of skill level. Youth are also able to sign up for one-on-one, small group, or family sessions, and we would frequently collaborate with prior DCN partner relationships to host game nights, hangouts, or just a general introduction and tour of the space. You can't see a lot from this photo, but I'm so excited to give you a full tour of the space that we built and made so many really meaningful connections in. Hi everyone, welcome to the super quick Digital Creator Online tour. I'm joined by Tyler Cunningham. If you wanted to just give yourself a quick intro, Tyler.
Hi, yeah, I'm one of the former programming research facilitators for Digital Creator North, and super excited to show you around our space today.
Yeah, awesome. So we won't have time to really go into our exact full thought process, but totally write down any questions you have and bring it to the discussion, and we will be so happy to talk you through those then. Okay, so when people spawn, they'll initially come into this area here, and then we usually like to start the tour over in the art gallery.
Art gallery that we created, there's sort of two components. The first part is out in this area. We created pieces of, we curated pieces of visual arts, video art specifically, video art, and sound art that some of the participants can look at just as a way to inspire. And then we also, where it says digital 3D gallery, Rebecca basically made a 3D art gallery where participants can store some of the work that they create in our space.
Yeah, they'll have the opportunity to show it off, and they can send the link to any parents, guardians, grandparents, teachers, friends, and everyone will be able to check out the work that they made. And we found that that was really popular. Just going down here, this is our solo art lounge where folks can use various online software, always free, usually browser-based, and they can do stuff like create blackout poetry, they can make pixel art, stuff like that, where you can just make art alone, but in the presence of other people, which we thought was really cool. Yeah. Did you want to give an overview of that, Tyler?
Yeah, so there's a lot of softwares in here that we unfortunately can't really talk about with so little time. But this is the space when we were designing. What was really important to us is to simulate the experience of working with people as if they were in the room with you. So we prioritized putting softwares into the space where you could feel like you're making something with someone else. So some of the examples is something called Magma, which allows you to basically paint and draw with other people, almost as if like a Google document. We also have a collaborative storytelling app, and we have a couple different music softwares that are collaborative. One for sheet music, one for music production, and then one that's just a piano, so you could doodle with other people.
Yeah, and that was great because they were great for group workshops, which we thought was important to kind of carry on, and it was, again, usually pretty popular, so that was awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, the game room. This, again, we wanted to keep it as like within the same vibe as the physical spaces that people loved so much, and youth loved to get together and play video games before, after, or even during a workshop. And so we wanted to keep that space for them to hang out and have fun, and we often came in here after our workshops and just sort of decompressed as a group and played some games, and some kids even invited their siblings to like join along, and we thought that that was a good way to kind of continue the spirit of the physical space.
Yeah, and since Gather's been so customizable, we also created an escape room that was sort of featured in a couple of different nights. It's in the portal at the top of the space, if you can see that.
So fun. And for a lot of these games, they just open up kind of in-app, so you're able to still see each other and you're able to still chat and everything like that. So that's always really fun. All right, the tutorial lab. So anytime we did a workshop, we wanted to make sure that we recorded it, just in case maybe some youth couldn't make it that day, or even for accessibility reasons, maybe someone wants to learn at a slower pace and maybe they want to do a sort of self-guided or co-guided art event. So anytime we did a workshop, we recorded them, and they live here and on our YouTube channel, which is Digital Creator North. So you're welcome to go check those out, of course. Lobby here, and one of the final things that we like to show folks is that we have an anonymous reporting tool where ideally we'd like youth to feel comfortable enough to tell us if anything went wrong in or out of the space, but we understand that sometimes they might want another avenue for that. So we have this anonymous reporting tool that they are totally welcome to use. Some additional safety features that we have in our space are it is always locked down when not in use.
there are various reporting tools in-app that they can use. And we also have these private spaces where if someone's bugging you, or even if you just want a little bit of sensory time alone, you can just hop right in there and get a little bit of that social isolation, but virtually, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. And one of the other things in terms of safety, we also use a guest list. So only emails that we know on our back end can get into the space. So we don't use password. They also have password protection here, but we just opted to use the guest list as an additional safety measure.
Yes, and there was always a mentor in the space as well, and cycling through rooms just to make sure that everything was okay and everyone was having a good time. Sweet, I think that concludes our tour. If you would like a longer one, we have one on our YouTube page, I believe, or you can always feel free to reach out to Digital Creator North, and we would be happy to have any further conversations. And yeah, we hope to see you at the discussion later.
Thank you all.
Bye.
All right, so we wanted to take the remainder of our time to pay particular note to 3 aspects of digital makerspace programs that were significant to our conception of digital creator online. And those were people, places, and the online landscape. So clearly the COVID era had greatly impacted the communities, their key centers, and how people related to each other. The organizations did not have the capacity or really the expertise as well to support their clients and members in a new way. Therefore, most of the original DCN partner organizations were unable to provide access to digital media the way that they did pre-COVID. And as a result, many partner organizations lost connections with their community, including Digital Creator North. Furthermore, a physical space does not easily translate to an online space. Some factors that encourage participation in a dedicated public space include a low or no barrier access to locations in a familiar place, such as the town library, for example. However, in the online world, which is often a youth living environment, the unknown element of online interactions and access to the internet are some of the major barriers to participation. And as a result, participation was actually below what we expected for reasons that are hard to overcome in the same pace as opening up a homogous space within a community library, for example. Finally, it is difficult to build a relationship with youth who navigate a world of varying constructed realities on and offline without an established foundation of trust. And our greatest engagement with youth came through prior partner organizations and collaborations with them. And as a result, our way forward with Digital Creator North and the online space, also in general, is to help our partner organizations and our partners with resources that they need. So we hope that you enjoyed this overview of Digital Creator Online. Even as restrictions loosened and loosen, we strongly believe that there is extreme value in creating safe virtual spaces for youth, and we consider the process of creating the Digital Creator North online space a fruitful blueprint for other organizations attempting adjacent or replicant endeavors. I would love to take some time to thank Canada Council for the Arts, Digital Strategy Fund, NOHFC, Digital Skills for Youth, Community Foundations of Canada, Ontario Trillium Foundation, who generously contributed to the funding of this initiative. I would also love to thank all amazing community partners who we worked with. I would like to thank the executive director at the time, who was Holly Cunningham. Also our incredible leader, the Digital Creator North program coordinator, and now the co-director of the Near North Mobile Media Lab, Sharon Switzer. And finally, I would love to thank all of the amazing youth who inspired, informed, and made this program really just so special. And that concludes our showcase for today. Again, if you have any questions, comments, absolutely keep those in mind and come to our discussion. And we would be happy to further discuss the program and what you folks have been going through as well.